Right, so it's been about 6 months since we played.
Yeah.
That's a long old time. If you come back to a game 6 months afterwards,
Yeah.
you've forgotten stuff.
Oh yeah.
So, trusty pad of paper, I've got some questions.
Love it.
What I want you to do is recount the story to where we are.
Okay.
And I'll jump in. When you get to that point, I'll jump in and ask you a question.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Where does the game start?
It starts Joel's apartment,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and he's getting phone calls.
Yep.
Doesn't he? He gets phone
Mhm.
calls from his brother or uncle
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Saying that it's all going down.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all hitting the fan outside. Don't go
Mhm.
outside and all that business. Finds his daughter or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we wake up as the girl.
Yeah.
We wake up as the girl.
Good. Yeah.
And then you can walk around the house, and then he comes bursting through the.
Mm-hmm. Before Sarah goes to sleep, what does she do for Joel?
Gives him a watch.
Yep. Because it's
His birthday.
it's his birthday, so she gives him this watch.
Here,
What's this?
your birthday?
And skipping forward, Ellie comments on that watch, saying what? Do you remember?
Your watch is broken.
It's broken.
Yeah, so the watch is broken and he's still wearing it. So what does that mean for him 20 years after Sarah's death, and what does that mean for you as a player?
Means he doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah, yeah, so that watch symbolises him remembering her, even
Yeah.
if he doesn't say it.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the podcast for the game, and it's the director and the actors talking about it, and instead of Joel always saying, "Oh, do you remember my dead daughter? Oh, my daughter this," he can just touch the watch, and we can visually see
Yeah.
that's him remembering. So yeah, carry on. So they wake up and Joel's disappeared.
Yeah. And then she goes walking around the house looking for him. She goes into his room, doesn't she? And
Mhm.
sees the TV. And then she goes downstairs, and he comes bursting through the
Yeah.
back door.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we need to leave.
Yeah, yeah.
And then doesn't that zombie come in, or the
Yeah,
that geezer
yeah.
comes in and starts like,
So the man that came bursting in was their neighbour.
okay.
He heard rumblings and shoutings. He went to go and see what had happened. He found the neighbour infecting the rest of the family in the house. He
Right.
runs back, terrified. What is his first protocol? What is his first thing that he has to do in that situation?
Protect his daughter.
Yes. Zombie burst through the window, and Joel was saying, "Stop! I'm warning you."
Oh yeah. Give me the gun.
Jimmy, I am warning you!
He doesn't pull the trigger.
Doesn't-
He's not an
doesn't shoot
instant
him at
bang.
first, yeah.
As soon as they start making towards them, but more importantly Sarah, that's when he pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, this is my ground." So they get in the car, they drive away with Tommy. Tommy's there, isn't
Oh
he?
yeah.
And what happens after that? While they're driving, what happens?
They get stuck in traffic, didn't they? So they
Mhm.
take a detour.
Yep.
And then they get stuck in like downtown or wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So they all get out of the car. No, they crash.
Yeah.
They crash. They get
Mhm.
like, T-boned, didn't they?
Yep. And there's that point that you swap, not play styles, but maybe perspectives. You're
Yeah.
not playing as Sarah anymore. You're playing as Joel.
Yeah. And he has to carry his daughter because she's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you lose Tommy at one point? He goes somewhere, or don't they
Yeah.
get attacked and he?
Yeah. So you fight through downtown,
Yeah.
and the explosion at the theatre. You have to take a side route.
Yeah.
You go through this bar, and Tommy's holding the door back.
Go! You got Sarah! I can outrun him!
Yes.
You get out of it. So even like both these brothers are protecting
Yeah.
Joel's daughter at this
Yeah.
point. So you're running off, and
They go through this like clearing,
Mhm.
and they're met by the soldier.
Mhm.
I mean, the soldier doesn't want to do anything at
Yeah.
first, does he? But
Yeah.
he gets orders clearly through
Yeah.
his comms saying, "You need to take him out. We can't
Mm.
take any chances."
yeah,
Sir, there's a little girl. But
And it's when he gets off that phone where they realise, hang on, he's just cocked his gun,
yeah, yeah.
and Joel turns, doesn't he,
Mm-hmm.
to protect his daughter, and she unfortunately dies.
Yeah.
Gets shot, and
Mm-hmm.
she is killed.
And that soldier would have killed Joel as well.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
Tommy comes in.
Tommy
and-
comes in.
That's
As-
sad. That's a sad bit.
So you haven't experienced any of this game before, have you?
No.
Were you expecting Sarah to die?
No.
So when you saw it happen, what was your reaction? What were your thoughts?
Sarah. That's a naughty dog, that is. I don't know. I've just fully expected to not die, or
You wouldn't
I-
expect it from a game, would you?
no.
So
Especially not the little girl. I would have thought that
Yeah.
it would have been Joel that died,
yeah,
and she would have then grown up to survive, and it would have been her story.
yeah. So it's something that's subverting everything we know about games, that they've just killed a kid in the opening scene.
Yeah. A soldier has just killed a kid
Yeah.
from orders that he's got from.
But it establishes those stakes in this game so early on.
Yeah.
In that is a big thing for Joel moving forward. That he's never the same Joel that we saw in the opening in the rest of the game. There is a
No.
point, I won't spoil, that we do start to see it. I want to see if you can pick it out.
Okay.
So 20 years on, what do you think's happened in that gap? There's very little to say what they got up to. There are bits around that say, oh, Tommy and I used to do this, these are some people I met.
Yeah.
What do you think? 'Cause it's open to interpretation. What do you think Tommy and Joel did in that break?
Just probably move from place to place,
Mm-hmm.
trying to survive and keep away from. Probably keep to themselves.
Yeah.
I'd probably say.
When we're in Billstown, there is a reference saying that Tommy has joined the Fireflies.
Oh yeah.
Or at least he was. He has since left, but he was part of the Fireflies, and that's this group that we see in Boston. So they mentioned Robert, and that he's stolen their weapons. The weapons are a MacGuffin. They're a story item that doesn't mean anything. It's just to set the plot in motion.
Yeah.
So they go after Robert. What happens? What happens to Robert?
Which one was Robert?
So it's about how
Oh, okay.
he had the weapons. He sold the guns to the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Even though they were their weapons, he stole them from them. They end up breaking his arm
Yeah.
and shooting him.
Yeah.
And that's when Marlene comes in.
Oh
Marlene,
yes.
Remember what was,
She
what was
said,
Marlene?
She says that she knows where more guns are, doesn't she? Or she has more guns somewhere.
Mhm.
Or she knows where guns are going to be coming in.
Yeah.
You do that, I'll give you your guns back. Then some.
Because I remember getting excited because there was going to be more guns.
Yeah. But what is it that she needs in return for these guns?
They ask them to smuggle. Did they tell her that? Did they tell him that it's the girl?
Initially, that she just says we need something smuggled out. It's not
Okay.
until they reach Ellie that's like,
It's like, oh,
we're smuggling
okay.
her.
I need something smuggled out of the city.
We're smuggling her?
So it establishes more that Joel and Tess are these smugglers that
Yeah.
are renowned in Boston. They are the ones to get things in and out. So Tess goes off with Marlene to verify that she has got these weapons, and Joel goes with Ellie to meet them at this meeting point for getting her out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first impression of Ellie?
Oh, can I talk to you? Just want to see what you're about. Just establish some ground rules. She's very stubborn.
Mm-hmm. So can we? There we go. So as soon as you enter, this is your first bit of seeing Ellie.
Yeah.
She comes in, knife in hand,
Yeah.
Let her go.
not knowing who you are, but because Marlene's injured, she's like, right, going out, attacking them.
Yeah.
And then-
Survival instincts, isn't it?
Shit.
And then she's worrying about it.
Don't worry, this is fixable. I got his help.
So she's very similar to Joel in that aspect, isn't she?
I can't come with you.
And her response is that she's been smuggled with them. She's going like,
Stay,
bullshit,
Ellie.
I'm not going with him. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
So
Be sensible.
what's your thoughts?
We're smuggling her?
How do you feel about Ellie? So as you just said that she's very independent and stubborn. How do you feel about taking a character like that with you?
You'd be a bit. Is it apprehensive? Is that the
Mhm.
word? you'd be like, well, okay, this is going to be difficult
Yeah,
because she's not
Yeah.
going to want to do what I say.
exactly.
You know, I'm
we've got-
going to try and keep
got
her
headphones. Let's pop some headphones in.
protected, but she's not going to listen to. Or you, or
Um,
she probably would, but you don't know that at first, do you? Because
Yeah.
you'd be worried that she's not going to do what you say.
So we got this cutscene a bit later on, but it's about what we're saying at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't even know what.
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You don't bring up Tess. Ever. Matter of fact, we just keep our histories to ourselves. Secondly, don't tell anybody about your condition. They think you're crazy, they'll try to kill you. And lastly, you do what I say when I say it.
Yeah, so that's Joel is very clearly set in place his rules, his terms.
Yeah.
You do what I say when I say it.
Yeah.
He's in charge. He doesn't want her to have any sort of input or anything.
No.
She is cargo. She is something to be shipped from one place to the other. So we've got Ellie. We get to the point. She goes on about his broken watch, and they have a moment where they're talking, and it's the first sort of point where they're actually showing some vague interest in each other. She's saying, "This is the closest I've been to outside,"
Yeah.
and Joel asks, "What is it they want with you?" He's actually showing interest.
You know, I've never been this close to the outside.
I was going to say to a window.
She licks them a lot.
She likes windows.
Can't be any worse out there. Can it?
I don't want to go out in the rain.
What on earth do the Fireflies want with you?
Get wet.
Yeah.
Do you think he's actually interested? Do you think he's interested in what he can get out of it, or what is your take on it?
I think it's a bit of both. Because you've got the curiosity aspect of it, where you know he wants to know what he can get out of it, because you know that's what he wouldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah.
'cause unless he's getting something out of it. And I guess you'd be curious to know why this girl. What why
Yeah.
why not just leave her?
Why not anyone? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we eventually find out. They get out, they get caught, and they get tested.
Yeah.
Turns out Ellie's immune, so that's why they're shipping her. Originally, I thought it was a setup.
Yeah.
Do you think Ellie is infected? Do you think she is immune? What do you think about this?
I think she could be immune, and that's why they are asking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they wouldn't be taking such a high risk
Yeah.
if she wasn't
Do you think?
so valuable.
Do you think Joel believes it?
Probably not at first,
Mm.
until maybe something happens.
Yeah. So the point that we've got to.
He's probably, as you say, he's
with
probably thinking he's
Bill.
being set up.
Yeah.
There's no way.
And then she goes on about now everyone turns within 2 days. And eventually we find out Tess has been bitten, and it's already worse within hours.
Yeah.
Further when we get to Bill's, and that's a couple of days, maybe a week or two later, and she's still not infected. So something has clearly happened. So he's starting to believe it a bit more then, but it's a case of Joel's first instinct is we've been set up.
Yeah.
Is he untrusting? Does he not trust Marlene? Does he not trust anyone? Or has he just got that view on he can't trust anyone but himself, and he struggles
I
to
think,
trust?
yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
I think he's got trust issues because of what's probably happened to him,
Mm-hmm.
and he finds it difficult to
Yeah.
do something like that.
I think it's a point with Sarah in that everything that happened to Sarah is because he let himself feel something.
Yeah.
So if he cuts himself off, he cannot feel that again.
No.
So that's a big thing for him. In that 20 years, he's cut himself off. So he gets to the Capitol building. There's no one there. Tess infected. What does that do for you? As Joel and as the player, what does Tess being infected and dying mean to you?
I'm on my own.
Mm.
You know, Joe was now on his own, smuggling this girl,
Mhm.
and he, you know, again, it probably brings back to him and his daughter. He's
Mm.
now got to take this girl, which could resemble his daughter, and it's, you know, that could play with him, could replay in his head.
Mm.
You know, what if this happens again? I can't, you know,
Yeah.
I can't let this happen again, in a way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, he might find that side of things difficult. That's what we sort of saw there. You know, she's just left herself to die. And they've left, and he's very, very. Like, this is my way or the highway. Now you listen to exactly what I say.
Do you think he's gonna see her as a daughter, or is he just gonna, like we said, cut himself off and be like, no, I can't get attached. You are just an item that I'm smuggling from A to B.
I think he'll want to believe that she's just an item that he's smuggling, so he doesn't have the attachment. But maybe as it goes on and more things start to happen, he might get a bit more protective.
Yeah. I think you're going to get more protective anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
regardless
I think so.
of however much you want to distance yourself. 'Cause it's not a dislike, really. It is literally just professional and emotional. Fucking hell, it's a loud mic spike. It's a professional and emotional distance that he's created. It's not a dislike.
No.
So that's not a case of I don't want. No, it's not a case of I don't like you. So I don't want to like you.
Yeah.
So
And it's the is he protecting this thing as a girl, or is he protecting it as the thing that he's smuggling?
yeah.
And
Or
there's
is he
different-
protecting himself from having this connection?
Exactly.
Not many left, don't worry. So we get into Billstown, and it's barren, which you'd expect. People have been evacuated. Then Joel starts hanging upside down from this trap that Bill set.
Oh yeah.
It's a very interesting mechanic in that you're hanging upside down, but you're still seeing Joel as you normally would.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Does that have any greater meaning to you? Or is it just a cool set piece?
I mean, it's a cool set piece when you look at it. You know, it's well done. I think it shows you. Maybe if you look deep into it, his world has been turned upside down.
Ooh,
But she is there. That you can still see
yeah,
that she's trying to do her best to
yeah.
turn it back
Nice,
around.
nice. That's better than what I had written down. So this is the first sort of point that you see them actually having to rely on each other.
Yeah.
Joel, yes, he's still defending Ellie, but he's doing it so that he can get back to the ground.
Yeah.
And Ellie is relying on Joel to protect her,
Yeah.
so that
Which he tries to do, doesn't he? Because
yeah, so that she can get him back to the ground to protect her again. So it's a very much coexisting point. That's the first time they've had to
Yeah.
rely on each other.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's a big turning point, literally, and that you're upside down.
Yeah.
So then Bill comes in, cuts some zombie's head off,
Yeah.
and he starts running. Do you remember what the scene is meeting Bill?
No.
So Bill straight away handcuffs Ellie to this pipe and checks if Joel's been infected.
Okay, I remember him handcuffing
Um,
her to the pipe.
there we go. So this is it.
Yes, they're in the
They
bar.
escape
They're
to
in
this
the bar,
bar.
aren't they? Yeah.
Bill very much embodies Joel's opening point of view.
Yeah.
In that, right, don't know who you are, handcuff you,
Yeah.
check if you're infected.
Yeah.
It's the view that everyone is hostile until you can trust them.
Yeah.
It even goes, who the hell is this punk and what's she doing here?
Yeah.
That's a very opening perspective of Ellie. You don't know who she is, but she's just come in swearing, guns blazing. And yeah. And you can see how much Joel's point of view has changed from what he used to be.
Yeah.
He's reasoning, going, look, okay, we just need a car, we just want to get here, get out. Bill was mentioned earlier on in that it's not too far. Bill used to give Tess and Joel supplies to smuggle in. So you haven't really gone that far. Like I said, it's about a week, maybe two at most, that they've travelled. And that's how far you've been. We'll see how far and how long Joel and Ellie are together by the end of the game.
Yeah.
You'll see how things change. You've seen how things change in a week. And that's where we've caught up to. So you've got to the church, and they're talking. You get a shotgun, don't you?
Yes.
Here we go.
Seriously, you gotta take that kid back to where you found her.
I can't just take her back.
Then send her packing, let her find her own way. Look, let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. It was a partner. Somebody I had to look after. And in this world, that sort of shit's good for one thing. Getting you killed. So you know what I did? I I wisen the fuck up. And I realize it's got to be just me.
Bill, it ain't like that. It's
Bullshit. It is just like that. You keep babysitting long enough, and eventually it's gonna blow up in
Bill,
your face.
Can we please just get on with it?
Here. Let's get on with it.
So that was where we left the last session. That's where we've got up to. Bill's going on about he had someone he had to look after, and it's good for one thing:
Yeah.
getting you killed.
Yeah.
How do you feel Bill's perspective matches with yours, matches with Joel's?
I don't know, because I've been on this journey with Joel, and I sort of feel the same way about Ellie as maybe he does. I feel like, you know, she's beginning to be more than just this thing that I'm smuggling, because, you know, she's been there for me now,
Yeah.
and she's saved me. So maybe I owe her that a little bit more. Maybe that he's thinking that, but
Yeah.
Bill, on the other hand, is just, she's clearly reckless, and she doesn't listen to a word that I've said to her since I've met her. So she's just going to get us killed, and you've got to be careful.
Yeah. What do you think happened to Bill's partner?
Probably got killed.
From their own lack of not listening to Bill? From Bill's carelessness? Is that why you're so careful now about close the door? Are you sprouting anything?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think maybe
Bill slipped up, and then
Yeah,
that's why he's so
yeah,
careful now.
yeah.
So it's open at this point to your interpretation, and that's what Naughty Dog do a lot. Is they drip feed you this information, so you're always thinking. They do a similar thing in Uncharted,
Okay.
in the look, here's a bit of information. Oh, but here's another bit of the side of the story. But they just go into it so much more in this, and that it's not Uncharted. It's not a parkour run and gun.
No.
It is a character and story driven game.
Yeah.
And that's where we got to. So yeah, that is us caught up, and we'll resume play now.
Awesome.
See you then.
Looking forward to it.